This is Justine, and Justine's not only finished the 40 days, but how long have you been out of the Fast 40 program now?
I finished the program back in October, so now I've
Yeah,
been
okay.
a little over 4 months out.
Okay, very cool. And would you mind? I know you sent me a text of your results, but I actually want to screen share this while we go over it, if you don't mind. So, if you would just describe your results. And by the way, but what did you try to lose weight? What did you do to try to lose weight before doing this?
So the whole point of me starting this program was really a hormonal reset. And I think that that was something that was the most appealing to me because I knew I was doing all the right thing. I was working 5 days a week. I was having my water. I thought I was eating the right foods, which I really learned during the program. I was eating healthy, but not the right healthy,
Yeah.
with a lot of artificial proteins and things like that that was not doing well with my body. And so for years, and I just was actually continuing to put on weight. And I couldn't
Yeah.
understand because when you're checking all the right boxes and you think you're doing all the right things and it's actually going up, it's just so defeating. So when
Mhm.
I started, I actually got some blood work done because I said there has to be something internally. And that's really what kind of brought me to the program is that I've tried everything and I was going in the opposite direction that I wanted to be. And I could feel my clothes getting tighter, everything across the board. And so when I started to do my lab work back last summer, about a little over a year, a little less than a year ago, and my testosterone was through the roof. My cortisol level was non-existing. So I was having these fluctuations all over the place, and I didn't know how to reset it. And which was funny because obviously you call it the 40-day reset plan and
Mhm.
a
Yeah.
hormonal reset plan. So, I really feel, by God's grace and everything that I was presented this plan. And it just kind of brought to me, and I was like, okay, I got nothing. And we talked about it. And when I saw that what you were trying to do, and it wasn't just a pill, it wasn't just an injection, it wasn't just, okay, buy all this. I've had friends that have done 800-calorie diets. I work with a
Right.
nutritionist that had me on 1,200 calories. I need
Mm.
1,400 calories just to survive
Minimum. Right. Right.
without working out. He had me
Right.
1,200 plus working out. So I'm throwing my metabolism off and trying
Yep.
to do these things. So the program just made all the sense in the world, and having obviously the support by you and the coaching side of it to try to understand the ins and outs of it and how it affects my body. So thankfully, so I started the program in September, actually Labor Day weekend last year, was my loading days.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now I've been off it, and now it's almost March 1st. I've lost over 24 inches all over my body.
I'll share
Uh,
this now. Yeah.
yeah, I've lost about 20 to 25 pounds, and I've been maintaining that 20 to 25 pounds within like a 1 to 3 pound weight loss since then for the last 4 months. My
Wow.
I know. And I'm exercising again. I'm back in the gym, but I'm not doing what I was doing before, trying to kill myself over cardio, running
Yeah.
for hours a day. I'm lifting for 30, 40 minutes, concentrated muscle mind connection, and all the things. I don't need to do that kind of stuff if you're fueling your body properly.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm.
you just put yourself in that other side of things where you're gonna hold on. I'll be 45 this year, in November. But some of the other things is my body fat decreased over 6%. My waist itself, I've lost 7 inches on my waist.
7 inches is significant.
It
My
is,
God.
it is. And, it was nice to buy some new wardrobes. I've lost 5 inches just off my hips alone. And I always thought I was like, hey, I'm curvy. I always wanted to be curvy, but I didn't realize all this unhealthy fat, that visceral fat around your body. You'll see it went from 7 to 5. You could feel it around all of your organs and things like that. That's the
Mm.
unhealthy weight.
Mm.
My muscle mass I got off the program has increased 3%, which that's the gains I want from the gym, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do is increase that muscle. And I'm seeing definition I've never seen. And I've been working out
Yeah.
for my whole life.
Yeah.
I used to teach kickboxing. I've done a lot of things like that. So my
Mm.
metabolic age is from 48 to 38. So, and my BMI dropped from 26 to 21. So it was just when I say an actual hormonal reset, and I've obviously preached to anybody and everybody that can listen, when I see them trying to do all these other things, you have to do something that's going to change your lifestyle and change your habits. And I think that that's where this program is so different than everything else. I work with a nutritionist. He's giving my meals, but he's not, there's no coaching involved. He's, and there's nothing else about what you're trying to accomplish besides being in a calorie deficit. That is not a good thing. And I wish more people knew that.
Uh,
Uh,
God,
so
Justine, I love hearing you. Like, I love hearing, first of all, how much you've learned. That's what makes me feel so good about this, because what you've learned is why you'll not only maintain, but you're going to have you've got a different trajectory for your life and your health. And I love that you're on the side of seeing what I'm seeing. It's like, to hear people do these unhealthy calorie restriction diets, and then it's like, my message has been like that for the last 15 years, is like paleo, keto, like all the things and all the semi-glutides and all the injections. I'm like, this is not a permanent change. And so people go through yo-yo dieting, and it makes me feel so good. Like, you've actually learned this really is, I guess, really is the reset. But I love you're pointing to the coaching, because on before, when I used to do this program without the coaching, they did really well. But I'm seeing the massive impact of what you've learned from us talking. Like you said, you have a nutritionist giving you meals, but like, how you would know if I go walk 2 more miles that day, you actually need to eat more food. Like, no one's ever, how would you even figure that out? No doctor's ever told you that, right? So I just love hearing how much you've learned. It is, oh my God, it touches my heart, it brings tears in my eyes.
and even during the program, I mean, it was nice to have the coaching. I had, which whenever I remember our first conversation was when I had when I had our initial consultation, and I said, "Well, hey, should I wait till October to do it? I have a week trip in Texas for work where I'll be in a banquet and meetings all day. My husband, me, and another couple are going to Cabo for my brother's birthday, and I'll be in an all-inclusive resort in Cabo for days. And what am I going to do?" And I remember you saying to me, he goes, "I want you to picture this." And he goes, "You'll be in Cabo in 35 days. If you follow this program the way it is, the way that I've set it up to be, how different you'll feel walking on that beach in 35 days." And I remember even before I left for Cabo, I'm like, "Hey, you know what they're going to be drinking?" So we stayed at a condo where I meal
Right.
prepped every day. I had the best vacation. It's still one of my favorite vacations I've ever had, and I felt better in my skin. And so when you see that, you're like, wow, like there's never going to be a good time to do it, ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Life is always going to throw it. But I did this program. I actually ended up with 2 trips for work, staying in a hotel for a week, and a whole week of all inclusive in Cabo, and
Ooh,
still was able to do that. So then I was like, hey, listen, this is easy.
yeah.
But even since then, we spent 2 weeks in the Middle East in December, and I
Mhm.
ate and enjoyed myself. But I knew as soon as I got back, I could go right back to
Yeah.
what is going to work for my body for
Yeah.
the first time
Wow.
ever in my life. So it's
Wow. Man, I don't have to even say anything, because you're saying it all. And it's so cool to hear. Like, I love how much you've taken in everything. I mean, 100%, you've got it. And it makes me feel so good, because you're like, you actually have it. Like, this is what, do you know the word doctor? The word doctor means to teach. And
mhm.
this is not what doctors do these day and age. This is the
Yeah.
original purpose of being a doctor, was to teach. And if you think about as many doctors visits you've had and we've all had, like, how much I'm like, have I actually learned anything? No, I've learned that my body can't do what it needs to do on its own. I need some kind of pill or injection. I need some kind of something. And so, like, I
Yeah.
love like what you're saying. And you're totally right. Just being able to come back in, like, it's not about being perfect. Like, it's not about not eating things. Like, if you want a piece of cake, have a piece of cake. If you want to
Yeah.
have alcohol. But you also know how to go back into eating properly, and you also know how you could screw it up too. Like, you understand how you got where you got. So, gosh, I would love to share the. This was significant. You had those blood tests redone. Would you mind if I pop that up?
Yeah,
And I'm just
for
gonna
sure. Yeah. So for
I love you
sure.
putting the numbers. You made the numbers very easy for us. So just tell us about this, because this is significant.
Okay, so just to give some background on it, when I was feeling at my lowest, I went to an endocrinologist because you think that's what you should do, and do my due diligence, of like, "Hey, listen, there's something going on." And when I originally went to her, she that's when my testosterone was through the roof, and I was like, "Okay, wait a minute. There's something not right. This should not be what it is. I'm not taking supplements. I'm not doing anything for that." She retested it. She goes, "Oh, well, it looks good." I said, "Yes, but you can't within a month have that fluctuation and there's not something." I said, "Well, what am I supposed to do? I'm still gaining weight." And she said, "I'll just give you a weight loss drug." And I was so
Wow.
angry at her.
Wow.
I was
Yeah.
so mad at her. And then I went to a hormone specialist and I was like, "Okay, maybe they'll do some testing." And that's when I started the 40 program. And my actually it was my hormone specialist that I went to. She had me on, I was on anxiety medication. Um, before I started all this because obviously with the weight gain and all that kind of stuff. So I was on that for a couple of years, as well as when I went to the hormone specialist, she goes, "Let me put you on some progesterone and some adrenal. There seems like there's some imbalances there. Let's see how you do." Well, when I started the program and my hormonal doctor was watching this weight loss happen, she's like, "I don't want you to do any labs until you're fully off the program. You're in maintenance in real life. Like, what do we see?" And so we
Mhm.
tested it back in January. So I had a plenty of time in maintenance. So it wasn't playing around
Yep.
with everything. And so my cortisol level is like ideal range. I mean, I'll be 45 in
Right.
November, and I mean, it was in the tank, and obviously that's why I was feeling horrible across the board and no energy. And then my testosterone is now perfect. So our I had
Yeah.
a consultation with her where I got my labs in, and she said, "I'm off progesterone, I'm off adrenal medication, I'm off anxiety medication, I'm on nothing." And she says,
Mm.
"I don't want you to do anything but continue to eat like you're eating and keep doing what you're doing. You don't need to be on anything. Your blood
Yeah.
work is as good as a 30-year-old." And
Wow.
so yeah, it's pretty like to see the numbers in black and white. It's so nice to just be able to see what this program it truly you there's a lot of programs out there. You can search the internet right now. But for you to be able to do the coaching, the education, and the advice, and for people to, if they trust the process and follow it, it will work, but it will work for the rest of your life. And that's why I said, I remember when I first did it, I'm like, "Oh God, am I going to spend all this money? Am I going to do it? Is this going to be another fad?" And I'm
Mhm.
like, I tell
Mhm.
people I'd pay 100 times as much with the knowledge I know now
Yeah.
for this program.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Oh,
amazing.
gosh, and yeah, that's thank you so much for saying that. I so love how much you've taken in. Gosh, it's so cool. When I saw these numbers, I was like, "Oh my god, the cortisol to go from that to that." I'm like, "You're totally in normal range."
Yep.
Yeah, no wonder. And this is what's so significant. Most people, even people watching this, are taking pills and chemicals to fix the cortisol levels. They're taking adrenal supplements and all kinds of
Mhm.
stuff. And that's the thing is the when you look at your adrenal glands and even your glands in general, your glands are responding to you. Your glands didn't forget. This is a key piece. Your glands didn't forget how to produce the chemicals. They're literally just responding to you. So reducing all that toxic fat and allowing your body to come back online again, it's like it starts working normal. But to go from testosterone of 292 to within a
Mhm.
normal range of 35 is like that is like, I mean,
Mhm.
you would have been on all kinds of, you said progesterone is what I think you were taking, right?
Yeah, I was taking progesterone too to try to shoot progesterone, but as well as adrenal to try to balance both of these hormones that were so out of whack and continued every single month to be out of whack. And you know what? It's just diet. Like we are meant to eat
Yeah.
healthy, good food.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, that's what we're here for. And the stuff and the junk, and it's even my husband watches it, and like we've just like cleaned out pantries, and every label you take a look at now and you second guess what you're going to put in you, your husband, your kids. And it's just to live this way. And this is why there are those unique people that are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s that still look great, feel great, their health is great, and they're not on those meds because they find this education and these secrets to just living a normal life. When people ask me about the program, they're like, "Oh, that sounds restrictive. I'm like, it's actually super easy. The
Yeah,
program
right.
is
Right.
really easy. It can
Yeah.
be boring, but it's
Yeah.
easy.
Right.
So,
No. Yes.
yeah.
Well, congratulations. I'm so proud of you. And it's so cool to see. I love that your fear has been cleared out of, like, 4 months later, and you've even gotten to travel in the Middle East, and you're seeing you can come back and not just maintain the weight, but lose anything that's any fluctuations your body goes through. This is the difference. These numbers are the difference of you getting to 40, 50, 60, 70 years old and ending up in a nursing home. Seriously. This is what this ends up doing versus you still being able to travel the world at 60, 70, 80, 90, and not on your deathbed, not having arthritis. And because these levels cause early aging, they cause all kind of inflammation in the body, all kinds of stuff that for whatever reason, I don't know why, but doctors don't tell people, like those kind of numbers. Yeah, even if you try to balance them out with some kind of outside hormone, we haven't actually fixed the problem. That's the funny thing. Like, Justine, if your hormones balanced out with progesterone and adrenal supplements, do you realize you would not have actually fixed the cause of the problem? That's the scary thing. You're like, so, it's, I appreciate our medical system, and this is just this is just proves, like, hey, if you actually make the right changes, and like you said, it's actually not hard. It's actually pretty simple. If anything, it's boring. You're like super healthy and I'm bored. So what's you want to be not bored? Have to take medications all the time. That'll keep you really excited, and have to, like, try to balance your numbers all the time and feel up and downs of swings of things. So I'm just so proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
good job.
This is life changing, and anyone that's even on the fence, I mean, if you stick with the process, I've now had, oh God, I'm trying to think how many people I've had in the program now that I know personally, and I've watched the transformation. I don't know,
Yeah.
like 12.
Yeah. Yeah.
And some of my best friends have done it and we watched it. And it's funny, we were going back and forth with Voxer now. Me and her, we
Yeah.
started last Monday. I'm like, okay, let's just like clean up everything because little
Yeah.
things start to sneak in. And so
Yeah.
it's every morning. I'm like, hey, we're making our own little Cody here, coaching
Yeah.
and keeping each other accountable and things like that for it. And that it's amazing within 3 days, feeling like crap last week, within 3 days of just cleaning things up, and you're like, oh, okay. And all of a sudden
Mm.
I'll be down to 25 pounds total loss and 130 pounds, and it's just crazy.
Mhm.
So it's just the
Yeah.
lessons that you learn. And so anyone that's thinking about the program, I can't recommend it enough. It's disciplined, but it is life changing, and that is
Mm.
well worth it. And it's fast. 40 days go by
It's
fast.
nothing. Yeah, it's so
Mhm.
fast.